These are the trolls. In 1996, Christian was 14 years old and enrolled in Manchester High School. Founded in 1924 and situated an hour and a half southeast from Ruckersville in Midlothian, Virginia, Christian's accounts of high school are generally positive, marked by fond reminiscences of what he considers a social and emotional high point in his life. In a note from his DVD, Yep, I'm on TV, Christian summarizes his high school experience. Seriously, I was one real lucky duck, and with friends like these, I couldn't help but feel the emotional support that I needed to get me out of my autistic shell and have some of the happiest years of my life. In a video entitled Autism Tutorial Part 3, Christian offers viewers further insight.
Back in my teenage years at Manchester High School of Midlothian, Virginia, I really felt emotionally rich because I had a great number of friends. The closest and majority of were some sweet girls.
The sweet girls Christian refers to are a number of women he calls his gal pals. A gal pal is a female whom Christian considers a friend and can be construed as a pet name he uses specifically for his close female friends. In regards to his time at Manchester High School, Christian had what he considered to be a sizable amount of gal pals, including Laura Beth D'Orazio, Miranda Joyce Mitchell, Molly Quarles, Kelly Lynn Andes, and Tiffany Gowan. Laura Beth D'Orazio was a cheerleader at Manchester High. On his Wikipedia page from April 2010, Christian says, "I did not meet her, Laura, until my freshman year at Manchester High. She was a cheerleader then. She was 2 grades ahead of me, and apparently she went to Providence Middle and was in the same class as me during my time, but she advanced to high school about 7th grade. She was a pretty girl. I had a crush on her that one year." A snippet from a transcript of Quick Note 3, taken from Christian's DVD slideshow, mentions Laura. "Also, that was the time I've had a crush on cheerleader Laura D'Orazio. It lasted for only a year though, and nothing happened. I've learned that she was in a later grade than I." According to the yearbooks, that was a big lie. As a matter of fact, she was also in Providence Middle School during the same 3 years I was, and she was a freshman while I was a freshman. Although for some odd reason, Laura skipped her junior year and became a senior while I was a junior. Laura manifests herself in Christian's life in various ways. She appears as a Lego racer known as Racer Number 16 in his Mario Kart 64 Lego Raceway videos. There is speculation that Laura served as a template for Christian's MHS cheerleader character in Mod Nation as well. Finally, there is reference to Laura in Sonichu Number 7 in the episode Time Hogs. However, Christian has retconned her name to Laura B. D'Orazio. Miranda Joyce Mitchell was, according to Christian, a pretty girl and was a big brain in my circle of friends. We shared a few classes. She was in my class as well. She helped me in the early days of my website days by redesigning the Quicks PokeSite 2 logo. She did a great job. According to an email exchange between Christian and Jackie, Christian mentions that Miranda assisted him with fixing his PokeSite 2 logo and that she was aware of Sonichu. Fun stories, though. My COY2K and computer graphics classmate and one of my close friends, Miranda Mitchell, redesigned the Quicks PokeSite 2 logo to the better-looking shiny one that came about later. The PKLG2 was the original. Quick PK2 was Miranda's work. It was an assignment in partners of designing logos for companies. I did one for Miranda of 2 chicks, young chickens, and a strawberry fruit. File not found at the moment, but is printed on a big poster I designed for a later CG project. So at least Miranda is, or was at least, aware of Sonichu. Concerning Molly Quarles, Christian offers the following. She was a funny, sweet, and possibly a bit quirky. We shared a few classes, and she was a cheerleader the same time as Laura Beth D'Orazio during my freshman year, yet Molly was a freshman too back then. 2 years in a dating matchup thing they had every Valentine's Day at MHS, I got matched up with Molly. The only matchup I felt was a good matchup at all back then. According to Christian, Kelly Lynn Andes was a treasure, and I grew fond of her ever since I first met her in my sophomore year. Considered his high school sweetheart, Christian laments, and as I have later learned in my adult years, I should have been more attentive in dating. I could have had my pick among my sweet gal pals, but I chickened out. I did have a few crushes in my lifetime, even a high school sweetheart for 3/4 of my high school life, Kelly Andes. I really missed out on that when I could have had the chance to take it. But I was mostly naive, my least favorite word in the English language on the subject. Christian touches upon how Kelly was often paired with him and Miranda Joyce Mitchell in their junior year science classes. Christian has this to say about Tiffany Gowan. She was really good to me. She reminded me of a Peanuts character, Peppermint Patty, and she and I were close, yet separate, like Patty and Charlie Brown. She also danced with me at the senior prom. I was there with my mother, and I was naive on the subject of dating, of relationships. Unlike most of the other students, I'm certain. It was so nice and fun. I'll never forget that dance. Two examples regarding his high school pals stand out the most in Christian's mind: the senior prom and his 18th birthday. Christian provides some context for his senior prom with the following excerpt from his Wikipedia page. To be one with my crowd, I bought a pair of tickets, but I went there with my mother. But then I realized I was still an outcast, because I stood out more like a lonesome wallflower. But that night, my trusted Peppermint Patty type gal pal, Tiffany Gowan, asked me to dance with her. I hesitated at first, but she grabbed my hand and pulled me onto the dance floor. We danced for what felt like hours. It was the most pleasant experience of that night, and I thank her for dancing with me then. I hope to return the favor at our reunion. As for Christian's 18th birthday, we have the following information from a short text written on February 10th, 2003. I will never forget my 18th birthday party. It was the best of the rest. The weekend before my real birthday, my mother and I prepared for the party I was going to host that day. We hung balloons and streamers, and we laid refreshments on the table. At the door was 4 of my high school amigas, and one of them brought a friend. We ate pepperoni pizza and drank Pepsi. It was great. As mother lit the candles, I was filling up with ecstasy. After I blew the candles, I was presented with a big jawbreaker from Kelly, an R.L. Stine novel from Sarah, a planner with stickers from Miranda, and a rabbit doll with jelly beans from Tiffany. We watched Good Burger and had fun. After they left, it was done. What did I wish for? I'm not telling. By the time Christian graduated from Manchester High School, there are 3 various retellings differing in terms of length and highlighted content, but all 3 are united in terms of the sadness he felt by leaving. However, only the first and third directly mention Christian's high school friends. The first account comes from his Wikipedia article. I had gotten over the awards ceremony on the graduation day, but to add lemon juice to an open wound, it was a dark and rainy day that day, and they handed out more talented awards right before handing out any diplomas. When I went up there to get mine, I was feeling depressed, upset, crestfallen, and ticked off. When the award was handed to me, I took it without looking anyone in the eye, and I did not shake anyone's hands. I just walked back to my seat in the graduating crowd. Then soon after, I just walked the wrong way up the center aisle, found an isolated table, and cried myself out. My mother found me later and comforted me. My father was ashamed of the way I acted, and he would later still be angry at recalling the moment. Tiffany also found me and gave me a caring moment of condolences back there. I gave her a plush Psyduck as a graduating gift beforehand. Days after graduation, we settled and moved back to our Ruckersville home, but I left out 2 other reasons why I felt crestfallen at graduation. I never got the chance to ask Kelly out on a date, and more importantly, that I was leaving all my close gal friends behind. This retelling comes from Quick's Hallmark Negative Life Events, a Facebook post from September 3rd, 2013. Graduation time. I only got a star pin for my grades. No awards for my talents. Between that and leaving the best circle of friends I ever had, along with leaving the best days of my life behind, I shook no one's hand and cried a lot upon receiving my diploma. Plus, it was raining heavily that graduation day. Although Christian had graduated from Manchester High in 2000, he would make references to his high school gal pals. He presented Kelly with a homemade Christmas CD in 2000, and by his affirmation, we've kept in touch up to mid-2001. In a call with Casey from August 31st, 2009, Christian mentioned some updates he has heard about in terms of Kelly's life.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I feel like I should mention. I think I'm going to tell you a little bit about my high school crush, Kelly Andes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. After we graduated, I was in touch with her for like about a year and a half after that. And then it's like I missed calling her one weekend, and it's like I lost the habit. And then a couple of months recently, I found that she had been married and she has like 1 or 2 children. So that's good for her then, anyway. But it's like after I stopped the habit, my mom told me I could tell from just from looking at her back in prom. She's obviously already thinking about this Western guy, and it's like I was like, oh my God, I was in shock.
for a while. I think I was like for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Or, yeah, somewhere between there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, I lost touch with her. That was like a downfall.
In 2010, user Delabonte messages Kelly Andes, asking her about Christian and his behavior, especially since Delabonte's imaginary sister became friends with Christian and was being bothered by him with texts and emails and supposedly nudes. They say that Christian mentions Kelly often and asks her for advice. Kelly responds, "I went to high school with Christian. I haven't seen him since. I really can't help you. I guess go to the police. He has autism. People with autism are very sensitive and almost feel as if they are shut off to the world. Just explain to him that you are only his friend. He will understand. But you have to explain it. Sorry, I can't help." Delabonte mentions that Christian claims that he and Kelly were in a relationship, prompting her to respond with, "Wow, I never even had a relationship with him. I am married and I have a son and a child on the way. I never liked Christian in that way. Christian is deaf, not my type, nor has he ever been. But I'm glad you guys are okay." In May 2010, Christian's conviction that a conspiracy against him was formulated and carried out under his very nose led him to record a Jeremiah where he cites how he had a good life while at Manchester High.
And I had a better life over there. I had so many friends over there in high school. And I was just sad to leave after I graduated. Because I had to leave all my friends. I had the good life, but we were forced to move back here.
Always citing the fond memories he has of socializing with his gal pals, Christian speaks of his gal pals' importance in his social development.
My circle of gal pals was the best asset and blessing anyone could ever ask for. They understood me, and I understood them. We appreciate each other. We hung out, conversed, and hung out within our classes, like home ec and science and math and even English. And sometimes we would help each other out. It was the best of times. Pretty much. And I even had a high school sweetheart like most would. And the quality throughout was great. And would be most appreciated by any person, autistic or not.
In a series of emails to Jackie, one particular email from August 2010 stands out, since Christian hopes to have a high school reunion. Also, current topic, I'm going to really push for my Manchester High School Class of 2000 reunion today and this week. I'm going to get in contact with the principal, same dude, thank God, and insist on getting the person who put together the senior prom to put the promise reunion together. I know it was promise because at the end of the slideshow they had at the prom, it had a huge message stating, "See you at the reunion in 10 years. I am no longer going to take the insubordination and belaboring to no promise keeping sitting down anymore." In a later email from August 22nd, Christian answers Jackie's request to talk about his high school experiences and lists them. Graduation was bad. Prom was fun thanks to Tiffany Gown. I owe her a dance in return for her generous favor. I could have done a lot more in high school. I was literally naive in the whole dating thing. I could have really used a dating education class alongside the sex ed. Kelly Andes was my high school sweetheart, but since I left, she got married and now has 3 children. I really should have dated that girl. Damn, why was I not taught to date? Later on, Christian laments his post-graduation life, affirming that it does not compare to his time at Manchester High.
My high school years were the best and most emotionally encouraging for me. But after graduation in 2000 and moving back to Lane Ruckersville, it was all downhill for me. My adult years suck, and I'm soon to turn 29. I left my heart back at Manchester High in Midlothian.
In a Facebook post from January 29, 2012, Christian says the following: "My adult life sucks. My high school years were way better. I wish I could go back to 1999 and redo my senior year better. I would ask Tiffany out on dates. I wish Kelly did not have a boyfriend. I know better now than what I was naive about then." Throughout 2013, Christian was planning a reunion at Manchester High School after his plans to have a 10-year reunion did not come to fruition. From October 2013 to 2014, he was in contact with Rebecca Bentley, a troll impersonating one of his high school sweethearts. On August 14, 2013, Christian was on the Quickie forums under the pseudonym Painting a Tree. He asks, "Hey, whatever happened to Tiffany? Didn't she get married or something? Like, dude, where did she go? Has anyone found her? A user named Applecat responded on August 16th with the following. I found her. It was tough because she didn't have a Facebook, but I made sure to send her a link to the quickie so she would know to stay away from that horrible man. She was very disappointed in him, but she thanked me for the tip-off. That's one more gal pal safe from Chris. On September 6, 2013, Christian uploaded 3 images of Tiffany on Facebook with the following comment. And I still really miss and need to find closure with Tiffany Gowan. Prior to October 30th, 2013, Christian received information regarding the status of his friendship with several of his high school gal pals. I had long thought I was liked genuinely as a person in Manchester High School by my closest gal pals and everyone else. Now I am shocked to hear that everyone was my friend because they felt sorry for me. Let me share a couple of recent emails from one of my friends. I'm not doing this to be mean, cruel, or bad, but it really hurts me emotionally. A lot of us were surprised, even shocked to see how much Christian had changed from the way we remembered him in high school. He was just this awkward, slightly odd, shy kid back then. A lot of the special ed kids got picked on, but for some reason, Christian seemed to get it much worse than the others. Blank and blank, I'd let Christian hang out with us mainly because we felt sorry for him. He sort of latched onto us like he expected us to protect him. He was like a lost little boy. Sometimes I think he saw us as sort of mother figures, which seems a little creepy now, but Christian seemed harmless enough back then, and we didn't mind him hanging out with us. As far as socializing goes, we didn't really hang with him outside of school, except for the time we went to his 18th birthday party. Blank and blank weren't so much friends of Christian's as they were his protectors. Some kids used to mess with him and steal his stuff. These kids were constantly teasing Christian and picking on him, doing whatever they could to get some kind of reaction out of him. Mostly Christian just cried or ran away. I don't think I can remember a time where he tried to stand up to the bullies. He seemed to prefer to have other people do that for him. No, I don't really follow Christian's activity on Facebook. I'm actually not on his friends list for reasons I'd rather not discuss with someone I don't really know that well. No offense. I know a lot of the people that are on his friends list, and they mostly ignore him. He's basically background noise. The only time they really notice his posts is when he tags them. Some of the stuff he posts is kind of bizarre and disturbing, which is the main reason why I decided I didn't want to have any contact with him. I'm also really creeped out that he's still obsessed with blank, and he's actively looking for her. She is well aware of this, and she's taken steps to make sure that she's very hard, if not impossible, to find. Yes, I've been in contact with her, but I don't feel that I have her permission to pass along her contact information. I'll pass along your email address, though, if that's okay. That way, she can contact you if she wants to. A lot of people became friends with Christian because of the reunion, and also because a lot of them still felt sorry for him. Some people are having second thoughts, though, after seeing that awful picture he drew of his friend. A lot of people stopped feeling sorry for him and started ignoring him after they saw that. I was shocked that he could draw something so gross and depraved. The thumbs up sign really pissed me off for some reason. The whole thing was very sexist, disrespectful, and, above all else, damn creepy. I have my suspicions about who may have leaked Christian's Facebook posts, but I'd rather not say, because I don't want to be involved in this. Christian accused this person of leaking the full list of classmates from our graduating class. Christian contacted some of his MHS friends and tried to make trouble. He told them to give this guy a hard time for what he did. His friends weren't amused. Anyway, I don't think Christian has anything to worry about. He's not friends with this guy anymore. Once again, not to be mean, cruel, or bad. I did not mean to sound cruel. I had thought you all were my friends for the sake of friendship, not for pity. Really? Really? You all thought of me as weak from the first and outside impressions? For your information, I was not picked on as much as I am interpreting your exaggeration. If I was picked on as much as stated, I would have had wedgies, I would have been pestered in the locker room, I would have been shoved into a locker, etc., and none of those things have ever happened to me at all. I never expected any protection from anyone, and I looked up to you all as my friends, never like mothers. Oh my God, I had no preference to anyone doing anything for me. I did a lot of things for myself, including the homework. I was consistently on honor roll. Forgive me if my posts were not being considered normal to you, but my life is what it is, and I am usually honest about details. Nobody is happy or mentally sound 24/7, 365. Everyone in this world has their own mental problems, no matter what or who. And frankly, I feel pissed off that you would judge me still for that one drawing that I had already elaborated on to make sure it had not been taken out of context. And Mims is not to be trusted. If he really wanted to help me, he would have never ever taken my photograph in 2007 and make mockery of me. For everyone's information, I wanted to locate Tiffany Gowan because I wanted and needed my closest friend to talk to and find closure. I am lonely and sad. I went well out of my way to gather towards bringing everyone together for the reunion. I put a lot of the pure goodness I had felt in my heart and soul into that work. Now I find out everyone was nice to me not for the sake of friendship or that they liked me, but because of sorry feelings. I was mainstream throughout my education. It had worked out well for me. I could be a lot worse off. I am not certain pity friendships are for the better for anyone, but real friendships really are magic and healing, or at least they're supposed to be. Well, now I know where I stand. Feeling very sad. Christian later added the following comment. This makes me so sad I actually considered suicide. The only reasons I don't do it are my mother and my dogs, and that premature death leaves one in limbo. I am really hurt, and I feel emotionally paralyzed and numb. It all hurts. In an email exchange with Rebecca from December 16, 2013, Christian says this. Yeah, Mia Rogers did screw up the original reunion plans for Ashley and Angie, mostly due to Facebook being in its most early stages at the time. I was happy to help this time last August after watching Equestria Girls and building the first high school Lego set. I was happy after years of depression until when Sarah blurted out to Mims about how she, Tiffany, and others were not friends, but hired help, followed by her telling me directly that Tiffany found me creepy and offensive and did not want to ever be anywhere near me. It all just totally re-devastated me worse. I am unable to feel even remotely happy without feeling the heartache again now. The same day, Christian posts an ad on Craigslist, wherein he puts his collection of 56 used pornographic DVDs on sale, with the asking price at $1,000. Around the same time, Molly Quarles posts an image of Christian's ad on Facebook with a comment, Ew, I didn't need that mental picture. What a creeper. Sarah Bevel Ingram replies, Well, that explains a few things. On December 17th, Kelly Andes provides a post on Facebook after watching the For JR's Eyes Only video and shares it on her page. OMG guys, it gets worse. I threw up a little in my mouth after watching this. If you have a weak stomach, turn back now. On December 27, 2013, Sarah Bevel posts an image of Christian in his mother's underwear with the following comment. A friend sent me this. Not only does Christian like to borrow mommy's undies, but he apparently spoons with her as well. Just when you think you've heard it all. Christian returns an email to Rebecca Bentley on January 2, 2014, telling her, I really appreciate your efforts. I will communicate with her, so you may relay my email address and whatnot. I mean, seriously, the source of my heartaches is just too obvious. Tiffany and Sarah turned troll and against me. Regardless of being hired help, I had long thought of them as my best and closest friends from high school. The solution to my heartaches is as plain as day and night. I want my friends back. They need a good talking to get their heads straightened out and whatnot. Unfortunately, I am just too emotionally weak to talk to them, and they won't listen to me anyway. And I sincerely feel Ashley Abernethy can help, in her free time now. She was elected class president. Surely she has the gumption and sound knowledge to put anyone in good spirits and in line. Also, Brandy sounds like one who can put a voice of reason into Tiffany. My mind has blanked out on me again. Anyway, the best solution to my emotional health is that obvious. I want my friends back. A troll masquerading as Sarah Bevel sent the following email on January 3rd, 2014. I don't understand why Christian has this obsessive need/desire for Tiffany and I to be his friends. And just what exactly does he think Ashley or Brandy could do to change our minds, as if they'd get involved with this nonsense in the first place? This would almost be funny if it weren't so pathetic. Also, the fact that Christian thinks that anyone can somehow force Tiffany and I to be friends with him clearly shows that he has no respect for our right to choose our own friends. Despite what Christian may think, nobody wants friends forced on them. The arrangement that Tiffany and I made in high school was a unique circumstance. We willingly chose to enter into the agreement. I'm really puzzled as to why Christian wants us to be friends with Tiffany and I again after he found out that our high school friendship was arranged. He ranted about it on Facebook, and it was obvious that he was very angry and upset. He even tried to paint me as some kind of villain and claimed that I'd shattered his heart, ruined his life, blah, blah, blah. Does Chris somehow expect Ashley and Brandy to arrange another pity friendship? And if so, just what kind of benefit does he expect to gain from it? If I were you, Rebecca, I'd seriously reconsider having anything to do with Christian. Do you really want to Google your name one day only to find that you've become the inspiration for Christian's latest rape fantasy porn drawing? Seriously, as a friend, I'm telling you to run. Don't walk away from this. Sarah. From a series of emails from September 16th to 18th, 2014, Christian later asks Rebecca for Tiffany's email address, but the address was not valid. Christian states his intentions for reaching out to Tiffany. I sincerely do want to clear the bad air and vibes between her and me in our friendship. Christian gives an email to Rebecca to send to Tiffany. I come in peace and good tidings, old friend. I still care about you as a friend, regardless of the uncalled for aggression and unpleasantries. I still want to be friends with you again, just friends. I understand you are either married or living with your boyfriend. You have a cute child, covered in cake. Was the birthday party recent? I found your Facebook. I promise not to be a bother or a bore. And the petty insults of my feminine behavior go disregarded, as my behavior and habits are rooted from my feminine, lesbian soul, trapped inside this male body. I do not know if you are open-minded to the LGBT community or not. I do apologize for coming off as creepy to you, but I really am more of a sentimentalist. I would suggest that you forget everything that has stemmed from the cesspools of the internet against me, and remember me more fondly as the good person I was in high school and still am. We do not have need for such drama to distance our friendship, and whatever problems of your life that bother should not direct anger towards anyone who is not involved there at all, including myself. I forgive you of the past unpleasantries. I remember seeing you back then as a tomboy type of woman. I still see it in your more current photographs. Love conquers hate. Rebecca received the following from Tiffany. God, Rebecca, why do you even bother with this bullshit? I thought I made it very clear to Christian months ago that I didn't want anything to do with him. I never would have agreed to that arrangement with the principal almost 15 years ago if I knew it was going to come back and bite me in the ass the way it has. And what makes him think I care about people on the internet? I don't want Christian in my life because he's weird and creepy and I'm sick of him stalking me. What's up with his new psychotic bag lady look anyway? One other thing, he forgives me. LOL. He really does live in his own warped little universe, doesn't he? Anyway, please tell Christian to kindly fuck off. I just want to be left. Tiffany. Rebecca tells Christian to forget about Tiffany and the others, focus on his relationship, and move on from them. Christian, however, says the following to her. Well, after finding her Facebook page, I thought I might be able to better understand any stresses she may have had that projected her anger and misdirected to me. And frankly, I would like to clear the air on her impressions of me being weird and creepy, a stalker, and now the psychotic bag lady look. I want to understand why she feels that way about me and see if I am able to clear the air with her about that. Also, can you tell me if she is open-minded to the communities and equal rights for all? And back in high school, I always saw her as a tomboy. Also, a lot of the trolls saw her as a lesbian. And according to her Facebook, she is in a relationship. Is she married to that shaved head dude or not? She has a cute child. Rebecca asks Christian why he is doing this to himself. And why do you care if she's married or not? You have a girlfriend. How do you think she'd feel if she thought you still have some sort of crush on Tiffany? Did you even read what she said? According to her, she was never your friend. It was all part of some sort of arrangement she had with the principal. I'm not mad at you, Christian, just exasperated. It's painful to watch you continue to beat yourself up over this. I'm trying to stop you from hurting yourself and or causing yourself embarrassment by starting drama on Facebook. The more you bother Tiffany, the more pissed off she's likely to get. Her reply was actually fairly polite compared to some of the messages I passed along for her. Why not just let her go and concentrate on enjoying your time with your girlfriend? Christian replies, while I still would like to know specifically what it is about me that makes Tiffany and co hate me, anything more valid than no reason. The Facebook page stirred it about in me again. Perhaps you can ask her for me about that and get back to me. But I am moving forward once again. Rebecca cites Christian's girlfriend, Catherine, and her nervousness in regards to what she sees as his obsession with his high school gal pals. If you are moving on, then why do you still want to know? Is the answer to your question really worth putting your relationship in jeopardy? I'm finding Tiffany's Facebook page triggered hurtful emotions in you, then stop following her. I already forwarded your last message to Tiffany, copied and pasted it into a new email with no mention of Catherine. I'm not going to ask her any other questions. Let's see if she replies, okay? Christian ends the subject and his known correspondence with Rebecca through the following message, and you can check on my Facebook as well. I am not following Tiffany's page. I have promised Katie that I won't even think about bothering Tiffany, Sarah, or Kelly ever again, so you may forget my request of finding out the why of anything there. Around the same time, Christian messages Catherine to reassure her that he only loves her and he only wants closure. I did not have a crush on Tiffany at all during high school. The only time that would be considered contrary was at the senior prom. No one had asked me to dance, and I went there with my mom. Tiffany asked me to dance with her. It was good. But with the learning of the setup arrangement last year, and upon recollection and reflection, that was probably a setup arrangement as well. I was moreover not over the friendships of all of my high school gal pals. Tiffany, Kelly, Sarah, Molly, who is still a friend and on my Facebook friends list, and Miranda, who I still have never found anywhere online, so she is undecided. Aside from Kelly, I did not have the deeper feelings for any of my gal pals, but I still was close with them, I cared about them as my friends, and I definitely felt comfortable around them. And with the bullying from Sarah and Tiffany since then, I really wanted to know why the hell they hate me for other than no reason. Afterwards, Christian has not made much mention of his time at Manchester High School, or his high school gal pals.